For a deaf person, you must see everything. You must protect yourself. Things happen in prison that you never know about. You never see. They don't tell you. You must watch out for yourself. Somebody have a knife because the other prisoners know your family send you money. They want that money. If you have shoes, they want the shoes. They want everything you have. You fight for the shower. You fight for your food.
There's no question that individuals with disabilities in prisons and jails face a very scary life. We know from the research that's been done on the national level about prison rape and abuse that individuals who have mental illness, individuals who are elderly, individuals who have a physical disability or who have a mental disability are oftentimes targeted for sexual abuse and assault.
It's laughable because it seems so completely far out there, far-fetched, that we could be treating people the way we treat people in prisons, not just the deaf and deafblind and blind, but anyone. The way we treat men and women in the prison system in the United States is just terrifying. My name is Talila A. Lewis, and I am the founder and president of HEARD, Helping Educate to Advance the Rights of the Deaf. It's a nonprofit that focuses on correcting and preventing deaf wrongful convictions and deaf prisoner abuse.
Yeah, you can go ahead, please.
All right. Right now we have just under 300 men and women who are deaf, deafblind, hard of hearing in our database. The percentage of them that has been raped is well above 80%. Raped or abused in some manner. It's mind-blowing.
One-man shower. I'm watching the door. Somebody's there. I don't know. He come in through the bar. He grabbed me. I'm fighting and kicking the ball. I'm fighting. I look right there. Another man coming in. Can't reach him. I pass out. When I wake up, there's blood on my face. He raped me. I shower, I finish. I come out, all the people were standing in the rail and watching. Go back to my room, all this purple, all purple, they beat me. Go back to my room, I get up in the bed, I jog. I stay there 3-4 days. I don't move, nothing.
I met Felix in June of 19. This is the box contains Felix's trial files from his 1983 trial. The attorney 3 times alerted the court and the state that his client could not understand, could not hear, and that he could not assist him in his trial, which is a Sixth Amendment violation. He didn't have an interpreter. He says, I didn't hear the testimony. He says, I didn't hear them say anything. So he did not hear any witness testimony. An interpreter most definitely would have changed the results.
Felix, after he was raped, would get in his cell, and he was so scared that he would get down close to the ground and he would listen against the wall for movement, for the sound of movement or the feeling of movement.
Vibration.
Yes, the vibration. And what's so crazy about Felix is that when he was in trial, they gave him a hearing aid, and one person said that there weren't any batteries in it, and the judge said, turn up the volume. So, of course, when you turn up the volume for a deaf person, it doesn't do anything except produce noise. So, I mean, basically,
He was unable to
There was
defend
no
himself, or
way.
there was no way he could participate.
Deaf inmates don't have equal access to services that they need, and they just need someone to be an advocate for them. People who can hear get 10 minutes on the phone every day. On the other hand, a deaf inmate has to actually schedule an appointment with the city social worker to get the TTY and talk on the phone. If they don't have communication with their family or loved ones, they won't feel support, they won't feel loved, they'll feel more isolated in the prison system. Right now, she lacks the sign language interpreter to complete a program that she needs to get early parole. So therefore, she's in jail longer than she really needs to be. It would actually save the state money to get her out of jail sooner. Having a sign language interpreter provided for her would be a good investment. It just makes it even more difficult to overcome substance abuse if you have a disability. If you don't have sign language access, in terms of therapy, group therapy, you're not going to get the support you need to stay clean.
I am the mother of Jeremy Thomas Sanders. Jeremy never got treated right here from the beginning, from the time of the arrest. While he was being held at the Lawrence County Jail, he never got a phone call or no Miranda warning or an interpreter. Jeremy told me he asked for an interpreter 16 times while he was at Lawrence County Jail. One week from incarceration, exactly 6 days, they found him hanging by a sheet. It was the most horrible experience most horrid phone call I've ever received in my life. He was 42 days without a phone call. A regular hearing person is allowed to use the phone within 3 days. My son was denied use of a phone for 42 days. I want my son treated just like anybody else. I want him to have the same opportunity as a hearing person does. I want him to be treated equal in the eyes of the law.
Absolutely, and it's not additional. People would say additional favors or things like that. It's not that. What we're asking for is equality. So the fact that a deaf person can go into a prison, a deaf or any other disabled person, go into a prison and not receive access to basic services, we're talking medical health care services, mental health services, access to mandatory classes that are required for them to even get out of the prison. Many times, the reason that they're in prison is not because they necessarily are a bad person, but because the entire system failed them. They didn't have interpreters at the time of interrogation. They didn't have interpreters during court and so on and so forth. And so we find that people with disabilities are disproportionately represented in the prison population, not because they're awful people or what have you, but because our system continues to fail them from A to Z.
We appreciate your helping to bring this underreported story to light. Thanks very much for being with us, Talila Lewis. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
As Talila noted, the deaf and disabled most often don't get the support they need. But after a class action lawsuit, New York's prison system is now one of the very few making an effort to accommodate the deaf and hard of hearing. In fact, only one out of only 5 states that houses deaf and hard of hearing inmates together.